Hello, folks. Feeling a little bit like a bit of Dear Diary, a bit with the the video at this point, but I want to try to come on and share a little bit with you how today went and a little more of what's actually going on with the show Higgs Corner, because I understand more clearly now what's actually the lay of the land at this point. Um, we spent the entire day today, starting at 10 in the morning, shooting footage for Higgs Corner as well as for some more stuff to be used on the show Stupid Morning Bullshit. And we shot here at the house, and we did some location recording, taping or videotaping here in Omaha, and also we went over to Council Bluffs to some places. It was a full day, really fun. It just really went well, and I'm so happy because the reason why it went so well and why things go well is because it's not just me, but it's the people in particular on this crew, and Sally just really fits well. She's a good person. No one is forcing anything, and there's none of this jockeying for position. None of that going on. It's just this friendship and everyone working together with this idea of presenting what we're doing, just pure. And man, today was really fun. Really fun. So here's what's actually the deal is. So I am not, like getting like, boom, here's Higgs Corner added to the schedule. What's going to happen is it will be Stupid Morning Bullshit presents Higgs Corner. It's hopefully it starts like that, and I hope it's the start. You know what I'm saying? I do. I hope that it's not just a one-time deal or a couple times deal, but it's not. So that's what's going on. I don't get my own show just yet, but they will be featuring my show through their auspices on Adult Swim. I don't know exactly when the first show will be. I have an idea, but because, again, of the business aspect, I need to let them tell me when to talk about the date, because it could change. But it's fairly soon, months-wise. It's coming up, March. Yeah, coming up in a couple of months. And that was good to find out, and that's fine with me. I don't like to try to project into the future. I just it seems like this is something that people like and people want, and so the idea that there's a possibility that the show could generate enough interest that Adult Swim would take the business step of offering me my own show, my own. So we'll just we'll see how it goes, but there's going to be a Higgs Corner, and we shot enough for several, and so that just right there is just really, really nice. And the other thing that was really cool to me is Sally's actual genuine interest in music and my process, which was really fun. And that's really easy to riff on when someone is asking you genuine questions. So she got feedback today. I gave her feedback today about the Taylor Swift record, and interesting some of the comments I got showing it, especially when it came up as a thumbnail, threw some of you folks for a loop, last thing you would expect. But, what I had to say was, I'm sure, not what you would expect, because you got no business trying to expect anything out of me. I'm genuine, you know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely not I don't have a typical outlook on anything. And I am objective, I know I have an opinion, but I try to be mature about it. The level of juvenile behavior that is accepted as an adult is, I don't like it. I think the bar is low. I think a lot of people accept a lot of behavior that's not mature and adult at all. It's still high school. And so I try not to be high school as much as possible about music. I have my opinions, and I have my exceptions, are basically things based on things that I've gone through in life. And some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, And again, that also leads to the idea that we talked about this today. Fascinating conversations today between the crew, me and Sally and my friends Aaron, Nick, and David and Mason. But we talked about perception, and we talked about communication, and that's one of the issues about communication between individuals of different levels of education and objectivity, because it does take a level of knowledge to understand perception. That's a big problem with ignorance, is that it's a fairly general thing to say that an ignorant person's ability to perceive above and beyond exactly what they take in is very limited. And so therefore it's just me against the world, and it's like it's one way or the highway, or basically the person does not compute the idea of, okay, take a break from this script that you just assume is the way things are, and try to see it from another perspective, from another person's life, there's so many aspects of the differences in human beings beyond just things like ethnicity, but location, place, time, your immediate environment, as well as the roots of your people, all these things, perspective, the ability to be able to see beyond oneself. This really does limit the ability of many people to communicate better, and from what I can see, it does boil down to, like, say, for example, if I were to just take people here within my country in America, USA rather, because America is Canada and Mexico. Maybe I'm saying wrong, and maybe not Mexico, but here in America, there is a fairly shared sense of what, the playing field of reality is. What is the basic culture of, modern day America, consumerism, materialism, all that. And when you go to different countries, as I have traveled and stuff, it's different. It is different. So even with that, perception, being exposed to the idea of seeing and knowing that there's different ways of life than the one that you have been brought up in is so, I think, so vital to the ability to have good communication and move forward. We talked about that today, and it just does seem to me that this is one of the issues regarding the stalemate that is going on with, notice how I get to what's my point. I may show some music, but I'm telling you what I'm thinking. But it does have to do with this public and political stalemate that we have on the division, the division, the versus thing, large groups of people, it appears, really stuck on what I say. This is another old saying. They're all stuck on stupid. They just want it their way, And how can this is again my perspective, but how can these people claim to be adult, mature, and intelligent and yet not see where they are an example of, well, we can't get anywhere, you just, we don't have any openness. We don't have people working on a bridge. We don't have communication. We have people talking at each other, and insisting that their way is the way to go. Just can't seem to get beyond that. We talked about that a lot. That's interesting, To me, the whole idea of doing these videos and developing into Higgs Corner and using music as a bridge to talk just more deeply about things that I think about, but it always does come down to a kind of a value thing to me, where music is a bridge and it's a universal communicator, and it can be more good than bad. I think that's what I'm thinking. I'm more interested in good as opposed to just, I'm past the point of, I have to tell the world how sad I am or how much I hate everything. It's like, we have that, but, it's like, I'm okay. So, spent some time after we got done shooting this evening with the crew, having an actual Higgs Corner like we used to, with no cameras, just sitting in the living room, chilling, listening to music, babbling about the day, having a communal smoke. And we played a bunch of music out there, which I'm not going to show, except because I put a bunch away. I did turn the guys onto Il Baratto di Bronzo Is. This is one of the premier Italian rock albums of all time. It goes back to the 70s. This is rather unhinged and wild, edgy. I don't speak Italian. Again, for me, it really doesn't. Don't need to know what it's about. It's just really stark, bleak, and amazing. And that was the response that I got from everyone. It was, whoa! That's what's so much fun about sharing music, because over here you do not hear what people are averagely being turned on to, other people's homes or whatever. But what's nice is it's reciprocal, because they turn me on to music too. It's not just me, all of the guys, Mason, Nick, David, we're all turning each other onto music, and that happened today. But this evening, what I was just getting into, very like a comfort food, like a real come down music that's just really kind of helping me to calm down. I can't drink any coffee tonight. I've got to get some rest. Is the band House of Love. And one of they get featured sometime, hopefully the footage of where it got featured today, which led to me playing it tonight, coming back to it. There was the Colin Thing. So much information. A big feature of Higgs Corner, as you saw with the Stupid Morning Bullshit special, is the call-in thing, okay? And so what it is they've set up this number that people can call in and leave messages. And there's already a ton of messages, and apparently the number is still open. And so I take calls from people who have asked different things, suggestions that they want, and I respond with my record collection and then some chat. So that's a big feature of what is, a big part of what's happening with Higgs Corner. We have these other parts, like any show, we have other parts that we want to feature, including something that we're working on is we want to include some interviews. Well, we worked on one today, starting locally. But you hear what I'm saying? We're gonna try and reach out to some artists, okay, to get some. You see where I'm going with this, okay? But the House of Love, Feel, is a song. Well, the House of Love, as some of you know who follow me, I love this band, and I just think they're brilliant, and I love the fact that Guy Chadwick is bringing a band to America to play live House of Love music. Terry Bickers can't make it, so So that's why it's not officially the House of Love, which is still together now. But I played this. I have a series of 3 10-inches that came in a limited edition set. Crush Me. These songs are brilliant. And the B-sides, they always do great B-sides. All the songs on here, each one of these features 3 non-LP B-sides. And then I haven't played this one yet, but this was their hit. This one, besides Shine On, You Don't Understand. This is one got MTV play on 120 minutes. So this got some exposure in America. And then Beatles and Stones after that, which is just another great song. I could go on and play some more House of Love tonight after I get off the camera. Love this music. And I love my friends. I love the interaction I'm getting from and the feedback I'm getting from you, not just here, but on Twitter, on Instagram. My Facebook is just blown up. And I appreciate it. I've only had one criticism, and it's from someone from my local punk community, and I dealt with it straight away. He said, great show, but why'd you have to just kiss and Otis? And I ain't saying your name, but if you see this, I'm talking to you. We go back to when you were a kid. And this is exactly what I said to you. Why did I say what I said? Because I'm me. And if you listen more closely, I didn't diss Otis. I dissed Kiss, but people hear what they want to hear. Go back and listen. I didn't diss Otis. I dissed this idea of the caller thinking that that's the appropriate thing that I'm going to recommend for his mood. Is, oh, hell no. We're going to go 180 degrees the other way or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking you out of the blues and the sappy shit, and let's open up some new vistas, All respect to that music, People, just take a fresh approach, It's like my perspective is not the typical mainstream perspective where just a lot of people think that blues-based and white folks trying to emulate black music historically is some kind of touchstone that all music needs to be derived from. Absolutely not for me. It's a big part of everything. And the other thing I need to say here before I go, because there's just so much to say all the time. I am certain that there are people who have, or even now, perceive my perspective on music and what I'm talking about. They're probably thinking that, oh, you ain't very black. I can just see some, I'm going to say it, some numbskull from their perspective thinking because of my perspective on world music and how I love, particularly coming off of the British invasion, the way music developed, that's my touchstone, that I'm not representing the people. Well, I'm not a human being and I can't be who I am. Like I have some sort of job to do what you think I'm supposed to do, and I don't think it's what I need to do. You think it's what I need to do, and you're going to tell me, and therefore I should do it. You're dumb enough. There are people who are that stupid. We're dealing with them all the time. It's my way or the highway. How the fuck you know? How you fucking hardly know for yourself? Do you feel what I'm trying to say? You know what I mean? I'm getting this out. There's so much information, because of perception. And I offer a perspective. It's my personal perspective, but it's a different perspective. It's fresh. This one's long, so I'm going to get off of here right about now. I'm feeling the love. And I am feeling like just be yourself, but there's no reason to speak your mind at all. Of course, everyone's not going to like it, and that's not the point. I'm not here to please you. And there is not, I could lecture on this because I used to on my job. People who think it's important to please others, that is bullshit. Ass kissing? Really? You think that's respect? There's things to learn. That's the opposite of respect. trying to butt kiss and make sure that people are, I don't want to upset them. Duh. That's exactly. Think about it like that. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm sharing with you my perspective. It's a strong, though. It's a strong perspective. I'll see you.